Welcome everyone to this episode of Thrive. We're back.
We are back.
We've renamed our podcast show. All right, I'm going to do a little intro for you. Hold on one moment. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Get my voice going. Ooh, sexy voice. Okay. Hello and welcome to episode 185 of Thrive by Additive-Free Lifestyle. We are Tracy and Jo, two sisters who are very passionate about asking questions and seeking information on things that make us curious. Thrive is a podcast show that will help you lower your toxic load, guide you through various stages of life, and give you permission to ask questions and seek advice on topics you may not yet understand. Today's episode is brought to you by, are you ready? Our Additive-Free Lifestyle app that can be found on all major app stores. Download it today to create family meal plans, easy shopping lists, and have access to additive information right at your fingertips. How was that? Welcome back.
Oh, so good. It's so good to be back. Our last episode was in September 2020.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I do have to let you in on a little secret. So this is the second time we've recorded this show because Jo forgot to hit record. So anyway, I just needed to bag her out about that for a second.
I did, but we look so professional.
We have
like the Bose earphones on. We've got it recording so that it can go up on YouTube as well. We've got like the full microphone thing set up.
It only took us an hour to set it all up and figure out what we're doing.
And then we recorded this amazing episode. And at the end, I hit stop and it went, you are recording. So I was like, oh, crap.
Oh, that's the typical Tracy and Jo show. Oh, my God. Okay. All right.
Oh, I love it.
2020, September 2020 was our last episode. So much has happened since 2020. We know the world kind of went a bit cray-cray there for a fair while. And in some degrees, it's still very cray-cray. But what else has happened since then?
Oh, okay. I did some stats. I've got them over here that I'm reading. We released 2 more cookbooks since then. So we released our party edition cookbook and we released
a good cookbook.
Yeah, it's so good. And it's so underutilized in my house. I need to get it out because there's so many great lunchbox fillers and snacks and little, if you have guests over, there's slices and dips and all sorts of things in there. It's such a great book, not just for birthday parties.
We almost should have called it entertaining or something rather than party because it is that visual of a birthday party. But honestly, it can be used for so many more things.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it really proves that you can have a fun birthday party and you don't need to use a whole heap of artificial colours to do it.
But even Easter is just around the corner and I am about to pull out a few things out of it for Easter and other celebrations.
Yeah. It'll probably be after Easter when this goes live, but yes, exactly.
Possibly. But you get the point we're making, people.
And we also released our camping edition cookbook. So we traveled around Tassie for 4.5 months. There was me and my husband and 2 children and Tracy and Craig. And we hopped in the van and we laughed at ourselves, didn't we, Trace? Because the world was so upside down with COVID, we had planned to go around Australia. And so then we were then lockdowns and all this different sorts of stuff were happening. And we thought, you know what, let's just stay in Tassie. And we laughed, didn't we? We were like, if we can go around Tassie in 5 months, we're going to be doing laps. This will be ridiculous.
There's the Hobart Bridge again. Oh, look, we thought we'd just be like, around and around.
Yeah. And we didn't even get halfway.
See anything.
We
saw nothing.
No, we didn't even go up the west coast, northwest coast.
I know.
We just stuck to the east coast, a little bit of north for like 3 nights or something, and then we went back down the east coast again. It's ridiculous.
We actually followed the weather every time. We're like, where are we going to go next? It was so much fun. Just no plans. We threw it all out the window. We had planned to do events along the way around our trip, and we had to can everything because of all sorts of mandates and different things. Anyway, we won't touch on that topic because it's a sore topic. But it meant that we could just flip the plans. We just flipped them out and we were like, what are we going to do tomorrow? Like, it was so fun.
Yeah, but also we just decided to cancel a few of them as well because we just knew that we loved being free. Like we just needed it personally as well. Like we needed that kind of break. And we also needed it professionally too, to catch up, like, and just reset. And so we just dedicated that 4.5 months to being like a family and just having fun and to get our cookbook written, which actually was a lot of work, but
It actually took a lot more.
It was awesome at the
Cookbooks,
same time.
for those that don't understand, to release a cookbook takes around 12 months. And we're not even like some of these big professional cookbooks, and maybe that's why it takes us longer, because maybe they have whole entire teams, but we do it all ourselves. To take the photos, to write the recipes, to test some recipes, numerous times to get them right, etc. But anyway, the camping cookbook is amazing. And again, it's not just for camping. Like I use it all the time in my home. It's got some of our very favorite recipes in it that we use all the time at home. So don't just think it's for camping.
Yeah.
We released 2 programs, DIY Made Easy, which is a program around lowering your toxic load, making all your cleaning products, etc. So one, you'll save money because DIYing is so incredibly cheap. And you'll save the environment and you'll save your health. Like there's so many toxic chemicals in pretty much everything at the supermarket. I won't say everything. There's 1 or 2, but you'll pay a fortune for them. So DIY Made Easy is brilliant. We love it. And Gluten-Free Made Easy was also born around, we released DIY Made Easy whilst we were on our camping trip. And Gluten-Free Made Easy was just before that, wasn't it? About 6 months prior to that. So that must have been mid-2021.
Yeah.
And then DIY was 2022, and we released our camping cookbook and all of that is all history. But it was, Gluten-Free Made Easy is a program, for those that are unaware of that, is a 4-week program that you can do either weekly, or you could just download it all and do it all in one hit kind of deal. There's some videos in there around how to make some of those recipes are a little tricky. Especially when you're first to being gluten-free. And it's also got loads of recipes in there as well, like obviously gluten-free. But here's the other thing that we don't talk about much, is it's very dairy-free as well.
It is, yeah. So I went through a big gut health journey, which I've got a podcast on that coming up, so I won't dive too much into that. That was another thing that happened, was I really got fit and healthy and reset my gut health, which takes a long time. But I needed to go gluten, dairy, sugar free. I've reintroduced dairy back in. I minimized my sugar, but I'm still gluten free. And there's just so many recipes that are really hard to make. So what we did with Gluten-Free Made Easy was we did a video for every, like Trace said, every one of those staple recipes. Like we're talking bread, wraps, bread rolls, naan bread. Like it's got really amazing recipes in there. And yeah, it's awesome because it just makes life a whole lot easier when you're going gluten-free.
So much easier. We also retired Additive-Free Made Easy. Kind of still breaks my heart.
If you listen to past episodes, you'll hear us talk about our signature program, Additive-Free Made Easy, and we decided to retire that. We have our app now out into the world, and Additive-Free Made Easy had been going for so long that it either needed to be really redone, I suppose, or given a huge big facelift, or it needed to retire. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, we decided to retire it because of our app coming out. But we said in the episode that didn't record is that like there's so much juicy information in there that we would love to release something one day to give you that information and more, and and give it a big facelift. So anyway, we don't know what that looks like at all, but we did retire that program.
Yeah, but somewhere down the track, you never know. We might bring it back. Never say never.
Yeah. Yeah, and then our app, for the last 12 months, we've been working on our app, and it's now out into the world, and this is an absolute game changer. Absolute game changer. Our app is about Every additive approved for use in Australia and New Zealand, plus more, are in the app, and we are opening it up to different markets soon. So we're working on that kind of now. It's almost ready for Europe, and then we'll tackle USA after that. And you can either manually search the additive, but the game changer with it is you can pick up any product and you can scan the ingredients listing, and then it will detect if any additives are in that ingredients listing. So you don't scan the barcode, you scan the ingredients listing.
And the reason you don't scan the barcode is because the barcodes don't actually have a lot of information in them. Like they have a little bit, but they don't have a full ingredients listing.
They don't. They have the nutritional panel. So they have your fat content, carbohydrate content, sugar content, but not ingredients. So yes. Yeah. And it's awesome. Yeah. So if any additive, good, safe, bad, questionable, comes up, is detected, then it will say 6 additives detected, and then it'll tell you what they are and it'll tell you what they mean. Absolute game changer. And
we love it. It's so easy.
Yeah, it's so
easy
good.
To use.
It's the best invention. We're so proud of ourselves.
And when we put it out there, we were like, when we had the thought of like, how do we make an app? Like, what would be really helpful to our audience and to the busy mums and the kids that want to, be additive free and etc. And how does this all work? And Joe came up with the genius idea of a scanner. Oh, I can tell you though, it has been an absolute nightmare. If F-bombs were a thing on this podcast show, I would be dropping them. It's been a nightmare to get organized and to get it to work as best as it can. So as with all tech, there's still little glitches here and there because that's technology. Like I have technology issues with Facebook and Instagram, like it's always going to be, there's never going to be a perfect thing. But we've got it as perfect as we possibly can and we love it and it's so easy to use. But what I love about it personally, because I don't need to look at the additives all the time now because I'm sort of 9 years down my additive-free journey. But what I personally love about it is the meal planning feature. And I have found it so helpful. And I love to meal plan, but now that there's only a couple of us at home, because I've had some kids move out, I'm nearly an empty nester. But now that there's only a few of us, I've gone back into that habit of like, same meal all the time, boring, boring, boring. And so I'm loving the meal planning feature of our app. It's really, really great.
Yeah, I used the meal planner the other day. So all our recipes, there's over 300 recipes in the app. So you can either search a recipe, cook it straight from the app like you would a website, or you can add that recipe to a meal plan. You can select the day that you want to cook it on. So you can add all your Monday to Sunday meals in. You can add all the bulk cooking that you'd maybe like to do on a Saturday or Sunday. So all your snacks for the week. And then it will formulate into a shopping list for you as well.
I know.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So I used it the other day because I wanted to make about 3 or 4 things to stock up the freezer. And so I just added those 3 things to the one day and then just got my shopping list from that one day and went off to the supermarket. There was only about 8 things I needed to buy, which was awesome. And it was just so handy. So yeah, it's got recipes, additives, additive scanner, meal plan. And then there's another section in there, which we've called latest. And it's just information that's going to change each month. So there could be like what's, in the middle of summer, there might be summer favorite recipes. There might be a summer sunscreen safe blog. There might be discount codes. So always refer back to that latest section because it will be relevant as to what's going on this month. Like Christmas, it'll be all about Christmas and teacher gifts ideas and whatever it might be. So that's going to change each month.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Such a good app. It's like 3 apps all in one almost. All right. So we brought our podcast show back. I'm going to get back to our notes that we've written because we're trying to be more professional. We've brought our podcast show back for a couple of different reasons. One, we missed it. We really missed it. And we know you guys missed it. We kept getting notifications like messages and emails, not every day. I'm not going to say, we got millions of them, but we did. We got people that would write in saying, I miss your podcast show. And we've been talking about bringing it back on social media. So people are like, yes, I've really missed it. So we're like, here we are, we're back. Selfishly though, I loved the fact that I was learning oodles of information all the time and in really sort of handy ways. Like they were, sometimes when I join a course, I'm like, boring, this bit. I don't need to know this bit. But when I'm interviewing someone, I kind of like, so tell me about this, because it like might relate to me or my family or something. So because it's relating to us personally, we also know that it relates to you guys as well, because we get that feedback as well, because it's real life information that we're learning.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we just knew something was missing in our business. And for the last 6 months, we've been like, something's missing. Like we couldn't really figure it out, but we just knew. We knew something was missing, and it's the podcast show. And we did think about releasing a membership called Thrive, like a paid monthly membership, which would have been really juicy and awesome as well. But then we decided, nah, it's the podcast show. We need to give out free information and help as many people as we can. And here it is. We're back with Thrive, the Additive-Free Lifestyle podcast show.
Yeah, we love it. All right. Other things personally, in the last couple of years since September 2020 from our last episode, we've had just private things going on. Like as I said before, am almost an empty nester. I've had 2 kids. I'll say 2 kids. I had my daughter and her boyfriend. He moved into us. Oh, wow, can't speak. He moved in with us a couple of years ago. And so when they both left and bought their own home, that was really strange. It's a strange feeling heading into this journey of my life, or this era of my life is really different to a brand new mother. And now, it's just, there's so many different things as a woman, especially all these different cycles that we go through, and we want to bring you all these different juicy things. I've got so many thoughts going on in my brain. I can't talk properly. Craig went back to work as a police officer. We did our trip around Tassie that we've already spoken about. And that's about it. I don't know really much else exciting news that's happened in my life, but
you became a grandmother to a dog.
Oh yeah, Bodhi. You'll have seen him on social media. So people think he's mine, but he's not. He's my grand fur baby. And he's extremely spoiled and we love him to death. But he does spend pretty much every day here because they go to work all day. And why wouldn't he come to Nanny's place?
Oh my gosh. he's a baby.
He is a baby. I'm going to be the best grandma. Actually, I'm going to be a nanny, I think. And no, none of my children are pregnant.
No.
One day.
What's happened in my world? I went on a huge gut health journey. And as I said, that will be an episode on its own. And I really needed to knuckle down and get my bloating and health issues under control once and for all, which I've had for a very, 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 very long time. And so I've been gluten-free, solid gluten-free for a good couple of years. And it has changed my life. I also had a whole heap of tests done professionally and a range of different things done. As I said, speak about that later. I now have a teenager. So I do still have younger children. As of today, we're talking 9 and 13, although probably when this gets released, it'll be 10 and 13. So my kids are still younger, but I do now have a kid in high school and a teenager. So that's a whole new world. Oh yeah. Awesome.
You're in for some trouble.
Oh, I'm already in trouble. Oh, yesterday. Oh, whew. Okay. I do remember being a teenager myself. But
yes, Karma's going to be a big bitch to you.
But now I'm like, oh my gosh, hang on. I'm holding on.
Don't they say it comes back in threefold? Is that what it is? Karma?
Oh, I reckon it's more than that. But anyway, we're all good. We're hanging on for dear life. And I have moved back to Queensland. So I did move down to Tassie. If you listen to past episodes, you'll probably hear about that. And I did move back to Queensland the last couple of weeks. Or months,
ripped my heart
actually.
Out, shredded it to pieces, stomped on it a few times. I still hate her for
it. My husband did go back to work as well as a surveyor, and he got offered a really great job back up here, which was his old job when we lived up here. And this is home to me. I lived here for 16 years and we absolutely love it in Queensland. And as much as I miss Trace and I miss Craig and the kids and my parents, I do love it up here. It's a nice place to live. But Tassie's beautiful too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I couldn't move
Different
away
type
from my
of
family.
beautiful. Like I miss the countryside and the crisp, clean air and the no traffic. And like I do, I miss certain things about Tassie as well. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, it is a great place. Although, I mean, it could be a little warmer here and there, don't get me wrong. But all the
Yes.
other aspects of it, I wouldn't trade for the world to
Yeah,
live
it's
anywhere else.
beautiful. It is beautiful.
Well,
And I got fit and healthy. I
you
trained
did.
I've been doing triathlons and I almost made it to a half Ironman. So I trained my little tush off to complete a half Ironman, and
You
then
made about 75%, I'd say.
yeah, I got really injured on the bike and had a pinched nerve and spent about 50 kilometers of the bike in tears. And it's still a very touchy subject because I still feel really disappointed that I didn't make it to the finish line. But I think when I do make it to the finish line, it's going to be a whole lot sweeter.
Yeah, it's like when you wait like a really long time for the best Christmas present ever. And you remember when we were kids, actually, you probably were more spoiled than I was, but when we were kids, like you had to wait for us. Joe's the youngest, if you haven't figured out, and I'm the middle child, so I missed out on everything. And but you do. When we were kids, we had to wait a really long time for something really cool because I don't know, that's just what you did. And now, like, there's instant gratification, just blah blah blah. Like it's always there. So yeah, I think you're right. I think when this finally happens, it's going to be like the most endorphins that have hit your body in a really long time.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait to cross that finish line. But I've kept up with my fitness and I'm back into it. I did sink into a little hole there for a couple of months, but we'll get back into it. I think we should record an episode actually on what you just said, Trace, which is what did you just say? I thought of it now.
I don't know, but we might have to listen to the recording again.
Anyway, whatever you just said, I'll go back and listen to it. We should record an episode on that.
Oh,
that sounded really good.
We're all sorts profesh. All right. That's it for this episode. Let's get off. Okay, what's coming up in future episodes? We are going to be doing a longer episode one week and a shorty episode the next week. So next week will be a much shorter episode. And also we will have show notes, and if there's downloadables or links to something else, they will be all in every show note. So they will be all on our website at additive-free-lifestyle.com. And our app is obviously live on the App Store. All our cookbooks, all our courses, etc., are all on our website as well. Yep. And that's about it.
Yeah, so this episode can be found at additive-freelifestyle.com/episode 185.